Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Dawn is just breaking here at 6:08 a.m. Central Time, and we have Kentucky Tavern straight bourbon whiskey, aged 3 years in new charred white oak barrels in Kentucky. This was introduced in 1903. It is a Sazerac brand today. And you can look it up on Sazerac.com, or when you get there, they'll link you to greatbourbons.com as well, which is their bourbon promotion page. Very interesting. This has won many awards. 80 proof today versus Early Times. I should have shown Early Times first because Early Times is an older brand since 1860. Now it's a Brown-Forman brand. I think it's been Brown-Forman since like the 1920s. It is a Kentucky whiskey aged 3 years, just like that one, but it is not a bourbon because it is aged in used barrels. It says that very clearly on the side of the bottle. It does not indicate any sort of sour mash process, though. Neither does Kentucky Tavern. Now, will I be able to tell them apart? My presumption is yes. I think the Kentucky Tavern is going to beat it because I think it has a fuller, more exciting, exuberant, radiant flavor, whatever. And the Early Times is a little muted and dull, not dull to the level of Canadian Mist, which is, we thought was so bland. But that's a blended whiskey from Canada. The Early Times is a straight Kentucky whiskey. And on Proof 66, they list it as a blended whiskey because they don't really have a category for it. They just stuck it under blended. But it isn't blended. I hope my audio is okay. I'm going to check it because I'm using Opera. And, you know, I've had problems with audio unless I use Internet Explorer. Let's see. I hope my audio is okay. I'm going to check it because it sounds all right. We'll monitor. I'm not going to be on too long. Morning, big boy, says Captain Kirk 83. Good morning to you. Now, so that's my presumption that Early Times are going to win out. So here's ET Early Times. It used to have a tag. There was a label up on the neck, but it kind of peeled off. It was peeling off, so I just pulled it off. Plastic label. That's why this neck has like glue on it. Early Times is about $8.99 a bottle around here, off and on sale. Kentucky Tavern is not even sold in this parish. You know, in Louisiana, we don't have counties, we have parishes. But it's not sold in this parish. It's sold in I bought it in Jefferson Parish, and it was $10.99 for the liter bottle. So $8.99 for 750 milliliters, $10.99 for the liter. So comparably priced. One is a bourbon. Early Times would be a bourbon. It qualifies as a bourbon in every way except for one way. And that way is that it is not aged in new white oak barrels. They use used barrels. Okay. The next one coming up is called 10 High. And the interesting thing about 10 High is what is called a blended bourbon. It is a bourbon, but is the category, the U.S. government's category, blended bourbon. Okay, so it's an oddball. We'll look at that. Somebody told me yesterday at work, he said, I never heard of a blended bourbon. I said, they exist. I didn't say they were popular. I said they exist. Well, they're both amber, lighter amber alcohol eggs. So I'll be shocked if I can't tell them apart. But you never know about these taste challenges. That's why you do them blind. I find the blind taste challenges are much better, safer. Well, they're both amber, light. Okay, good. Audio's still holding up. It will deteriorate, I believe, over time. There's just something wrong about Google Chrome. It fails. You can't even use Firefox anymore with it. They said we're not even going to use it until they fix their problems. It'll give you a message right there. And then Microsoft Internet Explorer will tell you you've stumbled across some vintage web tech. So you got to use. You can't use Microsoft Edge. You got to go into Explorer, and it'll give you that option. So it's been going on a year now. Do you drink to get a buzz or just the taste? Absolutely, just for the taste. That's the goal. I like tasting beer, wine, and liquor, but as far as getting drunk and all that, I just have no interest in it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people, they'll write comments to me. Oh, I got ripped and tore up on such and such, and you know, what do you do to deal with hangovers? And I say this doesn't factor in with me because I don't do that. No, I mean, I might drink like that 100 proof brandy last night, and then you'll notice maybe I'm becoming overly exuberant or something. It's going to affect you because it's 100 proof, and you know you're tasting it. But I just went lay in bed, watched basketball, felt fine. You know, went to sleep as usual very early. Woke up at 3:45. So, but I would do that drinking or not. You know. Okay, I got a lot of corn here on the left. You're right, maybe. What one are you holding now? I don't know. I mixed them up, right? They're blind. It's a blind taste test. A lot of corn. So corn and corn. Now, remember, I said the Kentucky Tavern in the previous taste test doesn't have a lot of aroma, but the taste really shines for it. So sweet corn, think of Libby's, a can of Libby's whole kernel sweet corn. This one might have a little more roast, or I should say char, but it's the difference is minimal. So, okay. As far as the aroma, it's a wash. There's nothing remarkable. So sweet corn. Okay, good. Once again, the corn. I mean, bourbon is corn whiskey, right? It's got to be mostly corn. Corn and sugar, caramel, some light char. I already think that's early times. Somebody says hi. Hello. That's got to be Kentucky Tavern. Much more char, a sharper flavor, a richer flavor, charred wood. If you know Sazerac, if you drink enough Sazerac company brands, there is so much heavy charred wood. You can't, it's hard to get over it. It's so predominant. It's so noticeable. It's a house style, I guess. I don't know. Even that 10 high blended whiskey, I said, what? Oh, you know, right off the bat, I caught it that it was heavily charred. And well, 10 highs coming out of Bardstown, Kentucky. I was in the barrel house. They showed me that thick layer of charcoal. It may be the case for all of these bourbon companies, but I was struck by how thick it was. Okay, anyway. And this Virginia Tavern's only in the barrel 3 years now, 36 months. And it's like, you know, you get, somebody does ribs and they got too much and kind of burn them, you know, it gets too much charcoal. I mean, that's how heavily charred it is. And that's why a lot of people don't like bourbon, you know, because of that aspect. But I think Kentucky Tavern is like Old Granddad in the sense that it could be used to make an old fashioned. It would have enough power to shine through it, not be overwhelmed with the mix. Otherwise, you think you're just drinking sugar water. Old Granddad, of course, has a much higher rye content. Although I think Kentucky Tavern does seem to have a pretty good rye, a higher than normal amount of rye. And that's another Sazerac thing. They love rye. Although I think, okay, I'm going to call it, this has got to be Early Times, and that's got to be Kentucky Tavern. And Kentucky Tavern beats it bad. Okay. Am I saying Early Times is a bad whiskey? No, I am not. I said it's a nice little whiskey. If you like a mild, pleasant, sweet, little candy taste, not too boozy, a kickback, watch college football conference championship games or the FCS playoffs on a Saturday and sip on this, it's going to be fine. It's not delivering a whole lot, but then it's not claiming to deliver a whole lot. You know what I mean? You're not asking for much. You're not getting much. But there's nothing bad about it. And why go buy Canadian Mist for, and you could just save, I mean, yeah, you'll save $1 because I know Walmart has Canadian Mist for $7.99, $7.98. But you could buy Early Times for $8.99. You're paying $1 more, but you're getting probably $2 more value on flavor. Now, if you just want, now you're asking me about getting drunk. If you just want the booze, well, yeah, you would shoot for price only. You go to Canadian Mist. It's 40% alcohol. It's 80 proof. I mean, it's going to give you what you're looking for there. And if you're doing mixed drinks, absolutely, you should only go price. You know, unless you want bourbon-oriented mixed drinks, you might want a stronger bourbon there to give it some a little more character. I don't know. I don't do mixed drinks, so it would be irrelevant to me. It's got to be Kentucky Tavern. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll be shocked. I mean, I'll be stunned, but I can't be, well, I could be wrong, but I think this is Kentucky Tavern. Let's check. Holy smokes. Did I mix them wrong? Ha ha ha. That's Early Times. Well, yeah. You see what happens with live television, so to speak, internet television, you get played. All right, so looks like this channel will be discontinued effective immediately. Captain Kirk says, can you slam a big shot for us? Well, I can. I'm not going to, but I could do it. Okay, now I got a lot of thinking to do. This thing here, we gotta work on some things here, people. I think, and I'm going to make an excuse, although I think it is a good reason. I didn't let them breathe enough. There's something to be said about these whiskeys have to breathe. If you start pouring them and just start drinking them, you're going to screw up. Now, you might say, oh, you're just cuckoo. You fail, so you're trying to cover. You're trying to cover. Yeah, you could say that, but you look at the previous videos, I did drag it out longer and let it breathe more. But anyway, it's perplexing because Kentucky Tavern was just blowing other ones away. Jack Daniels and Jack Daniels Green Label, it was obvious. Everything else, it was obvious. But here we go. We run up against a roadblock here or a speed bump. Caught me off guard, boy. I'll tell you what, it caught me off guard. You just never know. But then on the other hand, if you just won every time and you never got challenged, wouldn't really be a taste challenge now, would it? Heroin Money. Oh, well, that's an internet name. All right. How do you drink so early, Ron? Oh, I just lift up the glass and do like this. Watch. No problem. I don't know. I guess my body has a strong constitution, sort of like my father's brothers and sister. They can drink on a 24-hour cycle. What I mean is a continuous 24-hour cycle. And they'll go beer, wine, liquor, beer, wine, liquor, beer, wine, liquor all day long. And we're talking about a group of people aged 53 to 75, 53 years old to 75 years old, and they never get sick. And they're never at the hospital. They're never at the doctor. They just drink all day. I mean, it's incredible. My father, on the other hand, has a very weak constitution. He can't handle any kind of drinking or any kind of medicine for that matter. His body's wrecked by, although he's 73, he's in good health generally, but I think his problems goes back to having terrible asthma as a child around 1949, 1950, 51. He had to sleep in an oxygen tent for an entire year. And it kind of wrecked his body. He could never keep up with their drinking habits. He tried from about 1960 to around 2003. Then he gave up drinking and he told me, he said, I feel good now. I wonder why I felt horrible for all those years. But he can't even take vitamins. If he takes a vitamin, he gets ill, terribly ill. Eats around 19. And if he takes medicine, he has to take a half dose. So his health is, I shouldn't say his health, his body's constitution is weak. If you and I catch the flu or a stomach virus, we get sick and feel like hell, and then we get better. His whole life, I mean, I can remember when he was 27 years old, whatever, if he caught the flu, you're not quite sure if he's going to live. You know what I mean? Like, people like that, like he's probably going to die, or he might die. So that's the answer to the question, how do I drink this early? I think I take after that side of the family. Not to say that my mother's side of the family weren't, in some cases, drinkers of a historic level or heroic level. Now, that side of the family, they're not generally drinkers. You notice I said not generally. There are exceptions. My grandfather, Tulane University graduate, Tulane Medical Center, and his father, my great-grandfather. And my grandfather said he died last year at age 96. He was just shy of 97. He said, I can assure you that Tulane University was a major party university. They did schoolwork there, but mainly what they did was drank beer constantly. We're talking about 1938, 39, 40, 41, 42, that era. He said when he was going to Tulane, it was no holds barred. No holds barred, just outrageous amounts of beer drinking mainly. But I mean, they could knock back old fashions too. So, and he was full bore into that. And he was a medical doctor from around 1942 to 85 when he retired. Although he stayed certified as a doctor, he said in case he was at the movies and they said, is there a doctor in the house? But then he, let's say he died at 96, I guess around age 86 to 90, he's kind of cooled out with the drinking. And by the time he was like 91, he stopped drinking completely. But, he was old. His body was falling apart, Anyway. But he used to love drinking Dixie beer and heroin money. So I wasn't judging you, just so you know. Oh, I didn't think you were judging me. He said, he was just wondering, you must take a lot of naps. I usually take one nap a day and I usually can't fall asleep. I just lay there for 10 minutes and then I'll get up. I mean, occasionally I'll take a nap. But usually if I take a long nap, an hour, it's because I didn't sleep well the night before or something. I usually sleep through the night off and on, Like last night, I slept most of the night, 7 hours. I had dreams. I was dreaming about, it was actually about beer distribution at a grocery store and how they were certain products they couldn't get. It was bizarre. I won't get into that. And I woke up and said, that was a bizarre dream. Oh yeah, it wasn't real. I mean, it wasn't real. It was a dream. Okay. So, all right, Mom. I don't know. I think did I get careless and do something wrong? I think I mixed these up wrong. There's something wrong with this taste challenge, because that last sip, I swear it was Kentucky Tavern. Now the glass is saying early times. I don't think that's right. Something's wrong. See, the aroma is just so mild. Okay, I'm gonna break protocol for a moment, because I don't think this is right. I mean, I'm absent-minded now. People that know me know I'm absent-minded. I could be talking and literally pour things in the wrong glass. I mean, I could tell you all about the Holy Roman Empire, right? Talk about imperial circles and how Belgium and the Netherlands and Luxembourg were part of the empire, but I can't remember which glass I poured stuff in. Now that's the truth. Okay, so it's only a 6:29. We got a little bit of time just to do this for a minute. Thoughts on cognac, Ron? I'm a Hennessy man. Cognac. Okay. I would say my thoughts are that I'm very favorable towards it. It's only a 6:29. Okay, still going all right on the audio. Hennessy, yeah, I'm a Hennessy guy myself. I find it's overpriced, like Jack Daniels. You're paying for the name, but that Hennessy Privileged VSOP and that Hennessy Black are fantastic, and those are still low-level Hennessy's. I mean, you can get Hennessy's that are in the thousands of dollars a bottle, literally. So, I mean, I'm not anywhere close to that level, right? Is all cognac quality stuff? No, not really. You can get some cognacs that are questionable, I guess, or wanky or weird, like Salignac. And I've only had the VS, but it's got a strange aroma. But it is $25 a bottle. He says, wow, XO, right? Yeah, XO. I was like, yeah, right. I'm going to really pay $150 for a bottle of whiskey. Courvoisier is good. Yeah, I've had the Courvoisier VS. That was a delight. I mean, that was really fantastic. And the same thing, Courvoisier, you can lay down hundreds of dollars for a bottle. Hundreds of dollars for their really exquisite blends. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time, because I think I mean, it won't prove anything. You got to replicate these things. You got to do it 10 times to really say you did anything, honestly. But no one's going to watch 10 taste challenges for 2 of the same whiskeys. I wouldn't even watch it. Well, I might. Getting a little beeswax now, see? And I'm getting a little earthiness. I was going to say putty, like some kind of cement putty. Strange, but these things start to develop as you play around with them. I don't know. Another cognac that was peculiar was the Unsock. And that's about $25 a bottle too. And but the Unsock and the Salignac, they both had a strange turned fruit aroma, like rotted fruit. But the taste was good. Why don't you get hungover off of cognacs? Me? I never drank enough of anything to get hungover, so. Or is that a myth? I'm sure it's a myth. Sounds like some kind of fantasy. Okay, let's go with the taste. Let's get this over with. You see, the first hit is sweet sugar, okay, right? So it's sweet sugar. A flavor commonly associated with whiskey. You know, if you drink enough whiskey, you know they got that sweet sugar component. But then there's a charcoal, woody, oaky charcoal character that comes into play. You can probably see that daylight has certainly dawned. Now with this one, what is in the forefront? The charred oak, the burnt, the charcoal, the charred wood. Okay, so the man told him he drank Courvoisier because he didn't get a hangover. Well, I mean, it could be true. I don't know. Like I say, it just doesn't factor in with me because I don't drink enough to ever get close to that. Well, maybe twice this year. And then I said, I'm not. And that was because my friend David, you know, he's a much bigger person than me. He's like a huge guy. He's like Paul Bunyan, you know, and he said, let's taste these beers. But he wants to taste 5 imperial stouts in a row, you know. Well, let's try this one. It's 12%. Let's try this one. It's 11%. And I mean, I can't handle it. And then I felt sick the next day. Not like really sick, but I said, I mean, I'd rather do a bunch of light beers than a taste challenge than imperial stouts, to tell you the truth. Anyway. Now, I think this one here is Kentucky Tavern, and that's early times, because I think the Kentucky Tavern is just more charcoal oriented. And I don't know what the heck happened at the first go round, but I'm going to say this is early times. Early times. And I think this, yeah, Kentucky Tavern. I mean, I'm telling you, I could do it 10 more times and I'm going to get it right. So, you know what I mean? Like 11 taste challenges and I get it wrong the first time. And I'm going to claim it was carelessness. But the second go round, it was too obvious. You see what I mean? So I can't. Last question. Have you had Mercenary Beer by Odell? I don't think I've ever had an Odell product, and I don't recall ever seeing it around here. We get a lot of brands down here, but we don't get nearly everything that's available, of course. You see what I mean? So I can't. Okay, the audio's still good. I wish it would always be good on Opera because I would never use Microsoft Internet Explorer again. But I have a feeling I'm going to have to. Okay. Same thing. Sweetness to the 4, or I should say, at the 4. Char underneath. Here. It's all wood and char. It's all wood and char. I'm going to say it again. It's all wood and char. This has got to be Kentucky Tavern. I don't know what happened in the first go round. I'm not going to say we watched the video. There's no point that you could, but not saying early times. I don't know. I think they're very close. Okay. You said, well, the Atlanta Falcons were winning the Super Bowl by 22 points, and they bombed out, and they couldn't hold. But I'm not the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not going to sit there and have a 22-point lead and then pass the ball every down stock and run no clock and then let the other team come back. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to think this out and use intelligence. Okay, so here we go. 2 out of 3 times I get it wrong. So, well, heck. All right. Okay. You got me early times. It's like I said with the 10 high. If you watch that video, which I'm going to post tomorrow, the recorded video, I said, you got me, Sazerac, you got me. Because I was waiting to just go in, launch against that. Like it was going to be so dull, and couldn't believe it because it had character. It's like, wait a minute, why does this have character? And the Seagram's Escapes, the Bahama Mama. If there was any product I was going to rip apart with no mercy, it was going to be that. So when I did the review yesterday, I'm sorry, the day before yesterday, I said, oh, wait, it has good flavor. Oh, well, you got me. I said, you got me, North American Beverages, Seagram's Escapes, you got me. Had to give it a good score. It tastes good. So what have I proved here? Well, either that I don't know what I'm talking about, which is there's a high possibility of that. But I think the more likely answer is the second option, that Early Times is a much better product than we first assume. You think, well, it's $8.99 a bottle, it's going to be just nothing. And that's what I thought all morning. I was drinking coffee, eating the egg omelet with the mushrooms and the hot sauce. And I said, and the Swiss cheese and the chopped ham, spiced ham. And I said, this is going to be a joke. So we know that there are barriers to problem solving. And one barrier to problem solving is overconfidence. And this is a classic example of overconfidence. We see that in college football every week, not to mention the NFL. And you say, oh, well, hell, Early Times will not stand a chance. So then it begins to play out. You get careless, or I'm not trying to make excuses, okay? So then I'm still preaching the gospel of Kentucky's Tavern. However, this is a great value for $10.99 a liter. I'm not going to retract that statement at all. And it's going to be going up against the last bourbon I have in my stash, which is the 10 high. I'm going to be a little more careful now than saying, oh, yeah, something's going to just win, you know. So I would recommend both. And I would give a high recommendation to both. So if someone tells you Early Times is trash, I would pay no mind to that person. And if they said Kentucky Tavern is trash, I would laugh at them. I mean, these are not trash. And I'm a little confused about the taste challenge. Out there, it says, hey, Ron, good morning, good videos. I'm glad you like them. Carolyn Money says, Ron, we all respect your views on current events, but all the hoopla in the entertainment industry with news people and producers having been accused of sexual misconduct. Are you surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it came out because that's been going on for eight decades, you know. But there was a lot of intimidation of people to not say anything because they wanted their career, you know. And it was sort of like a case of built-up pressure. I read an article on one of these, right-wing websites I read. It was like they were talking about instances of built-up pressure throughout history, and then when the pressure gets finally released, because there's only so much pressure something can contain, and then when it blows out, then all hell breaks loose. So, and some people know where I'm going with that, but like Hollywood, they had all this built-up pressure of this sexual harassment, manipulation, and even much worse. A la the Black Dahlia murder case, much worse than just bothering people. Believe me, as bad as it seems from what we see on TV, it's much worse. So now I think all of this blowback we're seeing, it's an example of a pressure release. The pressure has blown the cap off, and now they can't stop it. And then you see certain patterns. You know what I mean? Certain patterns relative to the behavior, and it's out of control. You know, I mean, it'll die down eventually, but it may never go back to normal where you have these Svengalis manipulating people and controlling the paradigm. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Controlling the show, running the controlling the framework of the entire establishment, of the entire building. Let's leave it at that. That could change, but anyway. Okay, so that's another side topic. So we have tomorrow whiskey recorded posting 10 high, and then we'll go through all the 10 high taste challenges. Now, like I said, if it gets beat 3 times in a row, then it's out. We don't do it anymore. This was a tie, and I was very confused. This was one of the most, I guess you could say, disturbing taste challenges I've ever done, because I was highly shocked. To say I was shocked would be an understatement. Okay, well, anyway, thanks for watching this video production. You take care. Have a great rest of the week and a great weekend.